So here's something completely different. Still to do with the Gilburn though. Absolutely ages ago, I modified the seats. Now the seats I've used are actually from a Porsche 911, and they're very comfortable indeed. But I bought them and they were advertised as being heated seats, which I kind of wanted, because being leather in the winter, that can get a little bit difficult to get warmed up, shall we say. And I've just enjoyed having that feature on a couple of other cars that I've got. So I bought the seat heaters and put them in. Now there is a video out there of me physically installing these heaters, because as it turns out the seats weren't equipped with heaters, and I just bought these cheapo aftermarket seat heater sets instead, as a pad that goes in under the upholstery. But I've never wired them up. So here we are, and this is the wiring harness. This is one seat worth, and as you can see, it's got a lot of bits to it. So we have, here is a relay, here is the plugs that go into the heaters for the back and the base, and here is the wiring that comes out to the fuse box. But my on and off switch that I've set up is actually right next to the plug which goes to the switch. And that's important. So what that means is, it'd be rather convenient actually if these wires all came out together in the same spot. So rather than like grouping them together or something of that kind, I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll strip off this wiring and I'll do my own binding, that is. Now one of the things that makes that kind of a little bit tricky is because of the way it's put together up here. So here we have, I don't know what this is. This isn't heat shrink, this stuff. This is plastic sleeving. But this here is heat shrink. But if you pull at it right there, it comes off. Now you can't do that with this one because it's got a plug on the end. So for that, a knife is needed. And that's what I've done on, well, I finished the job really stripping wise on this one, which is the other side. So what I'm doing now is I'm rebinding, and it so happens I'm using cloth tape because that's what I've got. I'm rebinding that harness section so that the power wire comes out right near the plug for the switch, which is on the dashboard. So my fuse boxes are in fact just behind the dashboard, so this is a lot more convenient. So as you can see, it works quite well. Now I'm going to take that off there, and because what you tend to find with these wires is they appear to be the same length, but of course they're not 100%. So by re-evening them out, you can actually get a better quality. In fact, it still isn't there. So let's stretch it out again. And what you can also do is put the whole thing in an electric drill and twist it around. But anyway, so I'm using this approach on this because although I didn't do it on the engine harness, this is more, if you like, space critical and actually less complicated as well, because there's basically only, how many is it? 5 wires, and there's basically power going backwards and forwards, and that's it. No sensors or anything like that. So we are virtually there, I think. So I think I'm going to go up to about here and then take the power side out like that. So I'll give it a little bit more length. There we go. I'm going to break out the power section that's going to the fuse box. So you see I just wrapped it around I left the power as a branch coming off the side, and I'll go a little bit further up to the plug. And that should do the job. There we go. And although this is cloth tape, you can still cut it with wire cutters. There we go. Alright, so that means that the fuse can sit under the seat with its attendant plugs for the heaters themselves. This can run along the side of the footwell up to where the plug is, and these can go to the fuse box, which is nearby. So now I'm just slicing off the rest of this fairly hard sleeving, just using a knife. It's a bit of a pain that you can't just slide it off like you could on the other side, but never mind. And there we go. So once again, I can put these cables to get. Oh, now that's interesting. Right. Now I did notice that there was a loop in here. So the wire is actually going back on itself, which is interesting. So that means that we don't need. So this is the switch end, and that. So that's the. It's not damaged, is it? I can see a red wire there. There's a red wire. No, I haven't cut it by mistake. Oh, that's interesting. It's a bit of a nuisance actually, as it might mean I'll do the other side. Right, okay. So I've got this section of red wire that was going up to the relay and turning around and coming back again. Now, what's the sense in that? Alrighty, so where's my earth? Where is my earth? There it is. Oh, okay, the earth needs to come up there. But this, we just need this section to go to the fuses. That's madness. What do they do that for? Ah, that's annoying. Right, well I'll cut a big piece off it. It's going to be much too long. But yeah, the bit that goes, I'm just going to leave the relay under the seat, I think. But the rest of it can go like that, so it means the cabling has got very slightly less wire in it. And this heat shrink has been shrunk already, but because it was originally around a fatter section, I can shrink it some more, and it now takes a grip on the wires that are left. I don't know whether I can. Not sure if I can be bothered to strip out that other one I just did. I'll think about that. Alright, well anyway. Alright, so this is my first one of those that I did, which has had the plastic sleeving removed, which is already better. But this one, compared to this one, Yeah, that's a big difference actually. This is a lot thinner than this one, because of course it's not just one length of wire I've removed because it's doubled back on itself. It's actually two lengths. So I am actually going to go back and do this again. Unfortunately, that does rather mean a waste of this cloth tape. Okay, so I should be able to pull this out. Yep, here it comes. So it literally went up to the relay, turned around and came back again. So none of that is needed. That can come out at the other end where the switch is. Alright, so go back and do it again. Oh, I've got to heat that up some more, shrink it some more. So this plug here will run up to the switch on the dash. Which we will leave just there. And these wires here will go off to the fuse box. Right, obviously way too long. I'll shorten that right down. Okay, so there we go. That's both of these done now then. And they're a lot thinner than they were before. So I did check the excess length of wire here with my meter, and it's just a dead short. So there's no reason why this wire had to be there. It's not some sort of ballast resistor thing. It's just a piece of wire. So that's good to straightforwardly remove it then. So I did check this piece of wire that I removed in case there's something weird like a ballast resistor or something going on in there. I checked it with my meter, and in fact it's just a dead short, so it's completely standard wire and therefore no problem in removing it. Moving on to the switch section. Here is the switch. Cute little switch. It's just a bit stiff. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the hard protection. There's some bracketry and things behind the dash, so I'm going to leave about a half of it protected with this hard stuff. And remove the rest, or change the rest to be the cloth stuff. So I'm just running a blade down the side. Now there is a sort of chance you could end up damaging the internal wire, but if you're careful, you should get away with that. And so we've cut a piece out the side here, and I'll snip that off. Now the rest of it I can pull off with a combination there we go. Okay, so that is a heck of a lot more flexible. I might do a little bit more shortening. It's only about the first 4 inches or so that's kind of slightly at risk of chafing on the bracketry. There we go. Yeah, so I'll just offer that up and see if that's short enough. Now, in fact, I can take some more off. It just makes it easier to loop the wire back, which is what I'm going to need to do. This sleeving is just a bit too stiff. Let's see if I can make that as neat as possible. Well, should be good, I think. Well, so after all that, I seem to have got operational seat heaters. You can see the little friendly light coming on. And not only that, if you look at my display, currently showing the seat temperature. It's been on for about 10 minutes, 21. Whereas the one I'm actually sitting on is a 16. Depends on whereabouts exactly you put the probe, and that illustrated by that little light. Hello, Jessica. But yeah, this seat where the light is currently, the switch is currently off. I can put it on. There we go. You can have it high or low, and you can hear this relay click. Well, I can anyway, which not sure what that does actually, but anyway, it's a lower setting. So that's all very nice to have, isn't it? You can tell I'm really getting on to the fine details with this. But interesting to complete some work that I did 3 years ago.